Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eulalia Lopez, but I go by Lala. A little bit about me. I was born and raised in Mexico, and being there, I decided to go for the clinical laboratory tech on my first years right after high school. But fascinated by the human body since I was little, and the curiosity of like seeing how not just the human body but also like animals, not just when they are alive but also when they die. I wanted to go into the forensic area, and that was part of the plan, right? But then I decided to move to United States, and I left my career there. So when I came here, I did not speak any English. I did not read it, did not write anything. And I came from a very little town where they don't really teach you English, where I had to travel like 2 hours to go to school sometimes. But anyways, when I was here, I first arrived to New Jersey, and then there I met like a military guy that I ended up being married with him, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into it. And little I knew at that time that I had to move every 3 years. So I started moving from one state first to another, and then to a different country. So then I ended up here in California. When I came to California, I realized that it wasn't the same as living in New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania, where you actually have a lot of Latino or Hispanic community where they speak Spanish, and you don't really need to speak English to communicate. But here in California was a little bit different, because to the first restaurant I went and I ordered a burger, and the lady was like, I don't speak Spanish. So I was like, okay, I can't even order a burger. But that time I was probably already 28 years old, and I was already had my daughter. So I decided to go and joined MiraCosta College to start learning English. And I used to live here in Temecula. Well, people don't know the area like there, but it took me an hour to go take English classes. So every day I will drive 1 hour every day just for 1 hour of class. And that was my day for like maybe 2 to 3 days per week. And then finally, I started learning a little bit of English, and the time came where we had to move, and I was going to a different country, and I was like, oh no, I don't even know English very well. Now I have to learn a different language, because we ended up in Japan, right? And I was like, this is great. Now I don't know Spanish, I don't know English, and I don't even know Japanese. So I felt lost. But during my time learning English, I also took other classes that they were like a biotech, I would say, just like a general lab education. And I got a certificate before moving to Okinawa. So when I arrived there wasn't many job opportunities for me, as like I said, being part of the military. So I said, no, I am going to find a job here that is at least in the lab or in an area that I like, because I do not want to become like a stay-home mom or just, make sandwiches for Subway here. So I look around at the Japanese universities, and I noticed that they were hiring for a lab assistant. And I said, okay, I have a certificate. I might not speak the language, but I can do that. So I sent my resume, and I keep bugging one of the professors there. And then finally I got my interview, and that was actually my first real job in science. And this university is named Okinawa. It's called OISD, Okinawa Institute of Science and Technology Graduate University. And for people that don't know, it's expected to be the #1 in the whole world soon. I'll show you how to have access to that one later. But anyways, so that was my first job there, and I was there for 3 years. And they also gave me the opportunity to do an internship at the same time. Then I moved back to United States and continue my education. I didn't know what to do anymore, because I was very limited to what to do, right? I wanted to become a forensic, but then at that time, I'm like, I can't do that because I have to move again and I have to be stable into one area just to continue my education. So I went to the MiraCosta College Counseling Department and they told me, you know what, you can do this. This will take you like maybe a few months, maybe a semester or a year to get, like your biotech certificate. So I didn't stop. I just continued going because it was helping me not only to, like I guess finish a degree, but also helping me with my English. And then I finished my certificate in bioprocessing. Then I did the research and development certificate. Then I don't know how or why, but I ended up with an associate's degree in behavioral science. And I said, okay, this is not what I wanted to do, but it's there. Why not? So I also completed that. And the opportunity when MiraCosta College started offering the bachelor in biomanufacturing, one of my counselors called me and they were like, you know what, you complete all the certifications here. Why don't you just join this program? And I said, you know what, I don't know if I can do it because we're going to be moving to Texas now and I don't think I can stay here. Thankfully at that time, my husband decided to retire and we decided to stay here in California and I joined the program. And you know what, I will never regret being part of, the manufacturing cohort. If you can move to the next slide, please. I just see a blank. Oh, I can see it now. Okay, thank you. So this is the place where I started. It's called, like I said, OIST, Okinawa Institute of Science and Technology. And as you can see, when I first started working there, it had only 2 wings. Now it has 5. It's pretty big by this time. So my first job there was as a lab assistant, and I worked for a research unit that focused on S. bombay, which is a yeast. And I did my first 2 years, and I actually was part of a published paper. Then we finished with that project, and then I was offered a job at the same university working for a developmental signaling unit. And there I started working with Drosophila and with like many cancer cells, mammalian cells, a little bit of everything. I really, really enjoy the environment there, but I feel like I still needed to learn more because the certificate wasn't enough. So now if you can move to the next one. Okay. So I wanted to give it a try. Once I came back to the United States and continue my education with MiraCosta, I was like, okay, I'm just going to join QC and QA because I wanted to move away from academia. And I did it, and I decided to join Y Labs. Basically, they produce the yeast to make beer. And first of all, I do not like beer, so every day I go home smelling like beer. The QC area wasn't that bad. It was just about testing, and I really liked that part. But I didn't like it was that being in QC, you are in charge of rejecting products, and obviously the environment was a little bit strong for me because how can I say? You have like confrontations with production because production were like, my product is clean. Why are you failing my product? So I said, you know what, this is not for me. I don't think I'm going to be in QC, even though I spent 3 years working there. I'm like, I don't want to go back to that. I think I'm going to go back to R&D because that's where I belong. So I just continue going to school. I kind of give it a pause to continue working. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to focus on my education. And once I finish, then I'll go from there. If you can move to the next slide, please. So once I graduated from MiraCosta College on 2021, my goal was to continue with the master's. And I actually enrolled at Carl State San Marcos, and like we got the pandemia, and I didn't know what to do anymore because me, like not like not having the language still like at the levels that I needed to, I felt pretty uncomfortable taking classes or actually taking all the classes online. I was like, I'm going to struggle a lot because I really need to see, a teacher. I need to go to class to do good. So I thought about it, but I stay enrolled. And by that time, I guess a month later or 2 months later, I received a phone call from Thermo Fisher and they offered me a job without even applying. And I said, well, I was planning to continue my education, but yeah, why not? I should give it a try. And I just tried. The job position was only for 6 months, and I took it right after I graduated from MiraCosta. And I am still working there. I'm basically part of the biology department, and I am one of the junior scientists there. My job there right now is I validate and support the commercialization of new products for flow cytometry. More specifically, I work with mammalian cells and antibodies. I also design experiments and conduct basic troubleshooting, not only with the devices that we use, but also with experiments. We also prepare data analysis. We do presentations very often. That was the most challenging part for me because, like I said, the English, language barriers, and I will be so scared. And I will be like, oh my God, do I have to present this data like every week? And they were like, yes, it's part of your job. And every week I will be just like, oh my goodness, my English. But you know what? They told me, you don't have to worry about that. We're going to give you the opportunity, take as much time as you need to. And it just felt good because I felt the support from them. And I wasn't the only one working there, like, with a heavy accent. I met people there from China, from like Russia, from Korea, just like the way I was in Okinawa, Japan. Is exactly the same thing here at Thermo Fisher. So when I joined Thermo Fisher R&D, that's when I decided that I was going to be part of R&D, and then research and development was going to be my career. And that's it. I didn't want to go back to QA or QC. So now you might be wondering why Thermo Fisher. And like I mentioned, Thermo Fisher gives me the flexibility, and they have like the inclusivity, they have respect. And what's really important for me is that they support my development goals. So they offer development opportunities. On top of that, it's a very challenging job at the same time, and you're always learning something new. And I like that about that, because that's the way that I keep myself motivated to continue growing. And now the atmosphere is another thing that I enjoy. The people I work with, they are so nice. I'm not gonna say or speak bad about like other areas, because everyone has their own how do you say, preference. Some people enjoy working in QC. I have friends that work in QC and they love it. For me, R&D, that's where I belong. You can move on to the next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, my advice for current and future biotech students is give it a chance. Give it a chance to everything that you want to do. Why? Because if you don't, then you're always going to be thinking, what if I should have done that? Don't do it. Just give it a chance, and you know that it will work in the future one way or another. Now, the biotech career, it's very broad and can contribute to developing various sectors and industry. This area will give you opportunities to just work, not just in, like I said, QC, R&D. It can go beyond that. Like it can go to, like, you can work in the pharma area, you can work in biomanufacturing, gene therapy, the farming. You can even work for like a water treatment or any other area that you might like in science. It doesn't have to be specific in biomanufacturing. So I graduated with a bachelor's in biomanufacturing, but like I said, I am working in R&D. So for me, it worked very well. And I have no regrets of joining that program or being part of a community college, because that's all I know. And that's all I have for you guys. Thank you for letting me share this story, or my story.